Here's a Panasonic camera. The model is FZ82. It can shoot 4K videos at 30 frames per second. You can focus later, post focus. You can capture 4K still images. It has 60 times optical zoom. It has an 18 megapixel sensor. It has optical image stabilization. The color is black. Light speed autofocus. It has a viewfinder. The viewfinder is here in the back on the top. Okay, it has a touch screen. It's not tiltable. The charging is done through the USB port. On this side it says Wi-Fi, so we can connect it to the smartphone and do some settings from there also. The card which is required is an SD card XC, which is 64 gigabytes or more. That U3 is a speed rating. U1 cards are slower, U3 cards are faster. That faster speed is required by the 4K recording. The codec which is used by this camera, it's AVC HD, and it also has an HDMI port. The Wi-Fi works at 2.4 GHz. That is SDHC, not XC. Let's see if it will work. Memory card error. Format this card. Yes. Please set the clock. Let's see. Can you take a photo with that card? Yes, it can. Now let's see the video. The video is on Full HD 50 frames per second, I think. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I press that button. Okay, so the video can be recorded on that 4 GB card. Now let's go out from here into the menu. It says menu here in the middle. We have photo, we have video. We can use our fingers also. Let's see how quick it is. Power it on and record. Please wait. Now it's recording. It's not too quick. The delay is very low. Recording format. We were on MP4. Let's set it to AVC HD. 24 megabits, 17 megabits, 28 megabits. Where's that 4K? 4K recording is available in MP4 format, not AVC HD. Let's try it with the slowest card, and it's class 4 only, and it's of course U1, not U3. Rack format MP4. So if I go to AVC HD, then on the second page here at rack quality, I have only these 3 options, and Full HD is the maximum available resolution. If I go to the first page and set rack format to MP4, then on the second page at rack quality I have more options. I have even 2 pages here. The top one is 4K at 30 frames per second and 100 megabits. The same thing in 25 frames per second. Full HD at 60 frames per second at only 28 megabits. Not too much. The same thing at 50 frames per second. 30 frames per second at only 20 megabits. 25 frames. Now that's HD only, it's not even Full HD. The bitrate is pretty low, only 10 megabits. Okay, so let's try the best one, 4K at 30 at 100 megabits. Okay, and record button, and it is recording. Motion recording was cancelled due to limitation of writing speed of the card. So let's preview it. So yes, it's recording the video on a class 4 card, not even class 10, and a U1, not even U3. So it's possible to record on such a slow card, but of course not for a long period. No memory card. So this card, class 4 and not XC but HC, can record for around 10 seconds a 4K 100 megabit 30 frames per second video. Now that's interesting. Now let's try a class 10. Here you can see the C, and it's a bit faster. It's still U1 speed rating. Let's see this one. It's at 4K 30 frames per second. Let's see how long can it record. Will this stop or not? So 1 minute of 4K video at 30 frames per second and 100 megabits was recorded on a U1 card, although U3 is recommended, but it is still working. The battery icon is flashing, so I should recharge the battery. So here's a USB hub. Let's see how we can charge it. There's a red LED on the top while the camera is being charged. Nothing on the screen. The camera is plugged in and it's charging. The red LED is there. But if I power it on, notice the red disappeared. To begin charging, turn off. Okay, but it can record video, it's recording, and if you turn off the camera, the recording stops, the camera stops, and charging automatically begins. So you don't really have to unplug the cable if you don't want. So that's the memory card. The card was formatted inside the camera and it automatically labeled it Lumix. So that's nice. Lumix, and it's FAT32. The MP4 files are here in the DCIM folder. 100 and Panasonic. Here we have these files. Exactly, these are not 4K. They are Full HD at 60 frames per second. Because this is a slow card, the class 4, not even class 10, but Full HD at 60 frames per second is okay for this slow card, and if I delete all of these files from the memory card, the camera will not complain at all. Now insert the card, power on the camera. Okay, the charging cable is plugged in, but other than that, no complaints. I can record the video and the camera is not complaining. 6 seconds. Now stop the video. Now let's see how to delete the file. Press this button above the wheel to preview the video. And here we have the trash can sign. Delete single, delete all, delete single. Yes, there are no more pictures. Charging is automatically continued. The macro capabilities of this camera are very good also. So here's a memory card. I will place the lens on top of it and the picture is clear. Place it there on top of the enter button. The glass is touching the button, it's even moving it, and the enter text is clear. So macro is good. So if I connect the camera to a USB hub of this computer and it is charging and nothing is showing on the computer, the camera is not recognized like so. Even if I power it on, it's not recognized by the computer. So that is inside that USB hub. Now if I do the same thing, power it off, if I plug it into the computer, it's charging again. If I power it on, it's still saying that to begin charging, turn the camera off, but inside the PC it's also giving me this option to use it as a PC connection. So let's go to PC and accept it with the middle button, connecting to PC, and here we have a Panasonic. So you have to plug it into the computer, not into a USB hub. You have to power it on also, and then you can see the contents on your hard drive. Cut is not even available and delete is not available. So from here I cannot delete it. I have to remove the memory card and insert it into the card reader. Okay, so let's see the speed. I will simply copy it and paste it onto the desktop. And the speed is not high at all, only 10 megabytes per second. Remove that memory card, plug it into the card reader. Since it's in the card reader now, delete is also available and cut also. So cut. And in the card reader the speed is much higher, 70 megabytes instead of 10 megabytes per second. The USB 3 card reader is much faster than its own cable, although it's connected to a USB 3 port. So I try to avoid the cable. So I formatted the memory card on a PC in an exFAT format and it's not accepting it. Memory card error, format this card. Not yet. So FAT32 is a must for this camera. Now the card was formatted on a PC in the FAT32 format and it's still not good enough. This card was formatted by an external device and is not suitable for recording. If I press the record button, it's still able to record video. It's recording 7 seconds, 8. Listen how quietly this camera can capture photos compared to a mirrorless camera. Let's start with this one. That's a photo. You can hear the click sound. And this one, nothing. It's completely silent. You can switch between the LCD and the electronic viewfinder using this button. Just press it and that's it. There's no sensor on this one like on this camera. The Sony a6000 has a sensor here. This does not have a sensor. You can adjust the image by rotating this element up or down, out of focus and in focus. You can also turn off the monitor by pressing the disp button, a few times. Now it's off. You can use the camera, you can capture a photo, you can capture a video also. And if you press the display button, notice that it's recording. You can turn off the display and then stop the recording, and when we turn it on, it is stopped. Now here's an interesting thing. The button LVF is switching between the LCD and the viewfinder, and you think that the LCD is off. Well, only the light emitting portion of the LCD is off, and the touch portion of that LCD is on. Notice I'm changing the focusing points. I'm tapping the left side, the middle, the right side of the screen. The same thing here. And this is causing a problem when you're trying to zoom in. If you touch the screen, the zooming stops. You have to zoom again, but if you touch it, it stops. You are looking through the viewfinder and you're meanwhile zooming in or out. If your nose touches the LCD, the zooming will not work. It will stop. If I press this function button 3, and if I use any of these HD or Full HD, then you have a wider field of view. But if I use this and that 4K, you have a narrower view. So this is wide and this is narrow. Wide, narrow. You can see more and you can see less. And you can connect your smartphone to your camera also, and you can zoom in and out from the phone. You can start the video recording, and it is recording. It's recording there also. If the camera is on a tripod, you cannot open the door to remove the battery or the card.